I've always enjoyed software Easter eggs, or when programmers hide little hidden messages inside of their software for people to find later. Easter eggs can be found in all kinds of different pieces of software, and the ROMs of Commodore's 8-bit machines are not immune to it, so let's take a look at some of the Easter eggs in those machines. First one we're going to look at is in the Commodore PET, and this one's pretty famous, pretty well known. If you type wait 6502 followed by a number, and it'll print the word Microsoft onto the screen. And whatever number you put after the comma is the number of times Microsoft will be printed onto the screen. So yeah, this is pretty famous, pretty well known. This is probably one of the earliest examples of Microsoft hiding an Easter egg in their software. So they would go on to do quite a bit more later on down the road, as well as the people at Commodore were not very happy about this because it was using up precious ROM space, because back then every little bit of ROM had to count. Yeah, it was just wasting space. The guys at Commodore were not happy about this. This only works on a handful of PET models. The Easter egg was removed on later PET models. But anyway, we went to the VIC-20, and I really couldn't find anything for the VIC-20. There are really no known Easter eggs that work on just a standard VIC-20. Yeah, that's pretty sad. So now moving on to the 64. We view the contents of memory at FFF6, and we look at the little text thing that the monitor gives us. We get RRBY. These are initials. RR, or Robert Russell. He was the one, he did a lot of designing on the C64 and VIC-20 and whatnot, integrating the kernel. And BY is for Bob Gans, the one who designed the SID chip, famous SID chip that was used in the C64 and later 128. Pretty simple little Easter egg, but it's cool anyway. So this next one is not truly an Easter egg, but it's cool anyway. That is, if you press run stop restore, you have to press run stop restore before doing this, and you gotta poke 78196 and then add a colon SYS 58251, and then press enter, and you get a bunch of like question marks in a random pattern scrolling up the screen. I wouldn't really consider this an Easter egg. Some places will cite this as an Easter egg, but I don't consider this an Easter egg because it doesn't really make that much sense to make it as an Easter egg. What's really going on here is we're calling the error routine. The routine displays error messages on the screen. If we call it with certain parameters, and basically when there is no error, it just sort of glitches out and does this. It's sort of like an unintentional Easter egg. You can think of it as that. It's sort of like a cool little thing that's hidden within the ROM, but it wasn't intentionally put there. It's just sort of a cool little thing that's a side effect of something else. Okay, so now on to the TED machines. This includes the C16, the 116, and the +4. And there's just one little thing I noticed about these machines when recording this video. I just noticed that the default border color kind of reminds me of Pepto-Bismol, just like that pinkish color. Is that just me, or have other people made that connection too? But anyway, on these machines, if you type SYS 52650, it'll display a list of credits of people who worked on the machine. And the bottom one here is flashing, which will show off the new flashing text thing that was introduced on the TED machines. Okay, so now on to the C128. So the last machine we're going to look at. If you type SYS 32800 1,123, 45, 6, it'll display some credits for some of the people who worked on making the C128. You can see there's software and hardware designers, and then there's this anti-war message that says link arms don't make them. Next up, we're going to hop into the monitor, and we're going to monitor location F63F5 to F640B. And if we do that, it also displays some credits of people who worked on the machine in the little text area there. Anyway, that's just about it for today's video. I know it was a bit of a shorter video, but yeah, those are just some of the cool little Easter eggs that were hidden in some of the Commodore machines. I think this is quite cool. I find this stuff quite interesting. I don't know, they're just cool and pointless, but that's part of what makes them kind of cool. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Oh, well, let me know if there's anything I missed.